Ideally, the legislature would recognize that local revenue tools need to be modernized, that they are 60 plus years old and they're not keeping pace with the needs of today's local governments. So the General Assembly is the only body that can really make those changes through new authorizations. And we need them to recognize that and to help by making some updates. Well, some examples would be increasing the local services tax, lifting the cap on the earned income tax, or providing a payroll tax to local governments. And when we ask about having these options, we're looking at it from the perspective that when a community is in distress and is in Act 47, they receive these new taxing options. We believe that these options should be available to all local governments to help prevent distress on the front end and keep them out of Act 47. And these would provide more options, more stability for generating revenue to pay for services. Well, having spoken with elected officials across the state on this issue and working with them, it seems as though there are as many solutions as there are local governments. They're also different. There's different needs. Some may need housing for their workforce. Some may need housing in terms of more apartments or more housing for the elderly. It all depends on the community. So we need to make sure that they're involved and that the solutions are developed at the local level, which means the General Assembly authorizes tools or provides tools, and the local officials at the municipal level decide how best to use them. What we don't want to see is a one-size-fits-all solution that is given at the state level, and somehow local governments are supposed to work within that one solution to help ease the housing crisis. The issue of local use of radar really comes down to public safety. Communities need to be able to control speeding on their neighborhood roads. That's where most of the complaints come from. And it's one of the largest complaints that our elected officials receive is that they're speeding on neighborhood roads. So right now, the tools that local police have are really obsolete. We're the only state in the nation that doesn't allow the use of radar. The tools that our municipal police have are either the technology is no longer there, the support from the makers of the technology is no longer there, the technology does not work with the new police cars. So literally it's a situation where the technology is obsolete, and officers are relegated to using a stopwatch if they want to try to clock speeding on a local road. So we need the General Assembly to recognize that this needs to be modernized, that we are we're impacting the public safety by not making this change. We've always been open when talking about legislation to what we've called motorist protections. Local police should definitely be trained in the use of radar. The equipment should be calibrated. Local municipalities should pass an ordinance so that their residents know that radar will be in use. There should be signage so that motorists coming into a municipality will be able to see that radar is in use. We're open to all of that, but we're getting to the point where the motorist protections are starting to really degrade the ability to use radar at all. And so we've got to come to a middle ground where we are giving motorists all the options to not speed in a community, but at the same time giving police officers the tool that they need, the modern tool that they need to control speeding.